What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the Sheehan Show. Me, Sean Sheehan, here on Sherdog.com. And today I'm back with some news from the weekend in the world of mixed martial arts. Obviously, no big fights over the weekend, but still plenty of news. Obviously, a lot of fights announced on, was it Saturday or Friday evening or something like that over the weekend anyway. And a few other things went down as well. I want to talk about those, but the first thing I want to talk about here is Tom Aspinall. And Tom released a video, I think it was Sunday evening. And there was a lot of reaction to it, I suppose, to put it kindly. So Tom obviously got injured. What is it, 2 months ago now at this stage? Got the eye injury in the fight with Cyril Gane. There was a lot of back and forth with he was faking it, Dana White, he decided not to fight, and then the other people were of the opinion it was Gane should have been disqualified, he should never fight again, like everything in MMA and life these days. We have two very, very differing idiotic opinions on both sides of every single argument, it seems. But I was thinking about this after the Aspinall video was released and after the fight as well. And it really hit me there last night because I promise this won't be long-winded, but there was an Irish soccer player, right, Troy Parrott, who scored an amazing goal. And 5 amazing goals, in fact, to kind of rescue Ireland and almost, we're in the World Cup playoff now and stuff. And this guy is the toast of Ireland and almost it went worldwide. I saw there was people in America and Brazil and everything talking about it, right? So this was, a big, big thing in the biggest sport in the world. And I saw he did an interview last week. So still in the middle of all this, he went back to his club, he scored a goal and all. And he did an interview and he was almost afraid to say anything. And he's just 4-word answers, 2-word answers. And I tweeted out about it. I was thank God in MMA we have fighters who will actually come out and say stuff and be interesting and give us answers. And I've interviewed a few lads who, do the 4-word answer thing. And there's nothing worse. Nothing worse for me interviewing them, but I'm the grand. It doesn't matter with me. If we go 3 minutes in the interview or 33 minutes, all the one. But for the fans watching and for people who care and the people, who actually decide the narrative. A lot of time we say the media does. Now that they do a lot. If you have a big fight, if you're someone like Ariel or Luke in MMA, you can push the narrative or create an agenda. And, a lot of the time it's down to what they actually believe. I'm not saying they're doing it on purpose. But I came out from that interview thinking oh my God, this guy who just has everything at his feet now at the moment, who everyone really loves, is still afraid to say anything. And there's a reason for that. And the reason for that is so he doesn't look like what Tom Aspinall looked like after his, bittersweet symphony walk in the park video, right? He has obviously had, the soccer players obviously had PR training. He obviously is told, don't create any headlines, don't create anything that people, will talk about or drag you down over, even at the best time of his career. Never mind at the worst, which is where we are with Tom Aspinall now. Now, there's a fine line, right? Because I'm very thankful for fighters coming out and saying what they believe and being honest in interviews and giving us actual answers, because I actually think that's a way better way of doing it. And I think this is proof in point, because with Tom Aspinall in this, and we've seen other people do it as well down throughout the years, when you are the one trying to create a narrative, when you're doing a walk and talk in the park and you're going okay, let's cut to this video of me getting eye poked and let's, all of this stuff. It's so unnatural. Even if you are the one in the right, even if you are a victim of something bad, and I'm not saying necessarily he's a victim in this case, but go with me here for a second. And we're talking from a sporting realm now. We're not talking about more serious things. So just keep that in mind. People are not going to react well to that. I've said this for a while with Aspinall, even with the whole John Jones stuff, people started to get sick of it by the end. And I think he did a good job of like just stopping with the John Jones stuff and going like, I want to fight anyone, it doesn't matter. And then he did, and it's, you know, everything's gone well since up until this. But you released that video and it's so like scripted and obvious what you're trying to do, and people are not stupid. People are not stupid. I know, you know, Ant Evans, one of Tom Aspinall's biggest fans, even come out and put out a tweet, and I can't believe what's going on here. I can't believe he's done this weird video. And he's absolutely right. Like, and like this is not me like tearing into Tom Aspinall or anything like this. This is like, and I think Ant Evans said it well in the tweet he put out. He's like, you know, who's telling Tom Aspinall to do this stuff? Who's advising him to do this stuff? Again, we come back to like, you know, a bit of PR training. A lot these lads don't need PR training a lot of the time because, and this is the crux of it for me as well. And I'm not saying Tom Aspinall should have done an interview with me or anything. Do an interview with someone else. When you do an interview with someone, right, and they're a good interviewer, and not like I'm not the best interviewer in the world by any means, and I've never claimed to be, but they ask you a question. If you answer it honestly, they'll ask you another question, which will actually get people to understand your point of view. They'll get people to understand, geez, I've been in and out of hospital for the last 2 months. I can barely still see. This is, you know, I'm picking up the box of cornflakes in the morning and I can't even read the date in it to see, you know, that sort of thing. Just like, rather than putting out this scripted video that's like this and this, and people are like, wait, hold on. Even if it's all true, they're like, he's just putting all of this together to make us believe what he's saying. Whereas if you go out and someone actually interviews you, asks you the questions, even if they're layup, you know, softball questions, you can get your point of view out there in a natural way that people will actually understand and have a bit of sympathy for you. Because like, Tom Aspinall probably deserves a lot of sympathy after this. It was a terrible. Now, again, I don't think it should have been a disqualification. I don't think Cyril got minted or anything. But that doesn't matter. He still got poked really badly in the eye. It looks like he's a really, really bad eye injury that he's still dealing with. And yet somehow in that situation, you don't come out of it looking good. It's a crazy, crazy, crazy time. But I thought I'd just jump in with that. I think as well, there's a big difference between being a fighter and being a YouTube personality, if you want to put it that way, for a fighter. Some of them can do it very, very well. But if you're a guy at the real top of your game and you're trying to be a content creator and put stuff out all the time, in a situation like this, sometimes it's going to go bad. And in my opinion, no doubt about it, this one went bad. To another Englishman, Paddy Pimblett. He's going to be fighting Justin Gaethje. It was announced by Dana White on Thanksgiving. So that was Thursday, actually. It was so Friday for me. And a lot of people are up in arms over this. They're saying, what about Topuria? What about Saryukin? And I understand all of that. Here's one thing I will say. A few years ago, I did my New Year's resolutions for mixed martial arts. And I've stuck to one of them. If the UFC give me a good fight, or if PFL or Cage Warriors or anyone give me a good fight, I'm not going to give out about it too much, right? So I'm not going to give out about Paddy Pimblett versus Justin Gaethje too much. This is a good fight. This is a great fight. I can't wait for it. The other two things I would say in the positive, let's put it that way, are that Ilia Topuria has said that he doesn't want to fight in Q1 of next year, or can't fight. You know, he's gone through some personal things. And he basically said, look, I don't want to hold anything up. You know, let's have an interim type of thing. I'm okay with that. I have absolutely no problem with that at all. I have no problem with this interim. I know people are always giving out about interims down through the years, but I have no problem. These lads, if they get paid more, if we can guarantee a number one contender through an interim title, I have no problem with it at all. Absolutely zero problem with it. And again, I know some people have. Like, I think Islam Makhachev said he doesn't want to fight till the White House card, which from the day he fought was, 8-9 months away. if you're going to be out for 8-9 months, let's get an interim title going at welterweight too. You know, let's line them up. Let's have Ian Gary against Moraes, or let's have Ian Gary against Praches, or Shavkat against Morales, or whoever it might be. Did I say Moraes? I always struggle with that. I always Marlon Moraes. Anyway, you get what I mean. Then we've Saryukin, and my first reaction was like, oh, Pimblett versus Gaethje, this is brilliant, can't wait, I understand with the Taporia. And then I got, oh yeah, Saryukin, I forgot about him. And I saw a lot of people making the point about Saryukin, he should have been in it, he's the number one contender, you know, the champion isn't fighting, fair enough, but he should definitely be in it, and they're all right. They are all right. But then I saw someone making the point, I can't remember who it was now, but they said, but isn't Saryukin the guy who just missed weight for a title shot, and then for his next fight he headbutted a guy at weigh-ins and allegedly broke his nose? It was in reply to Saryukin said, make it make sense. And you know, we might be able to find a tweet or whatever, but someone said that, and I was like, do you know what? They're right. They are right. And even, you know, the maniacal Dana White at times, you know, just deciding he hates people and not giving them shots and all. I actually think he has reason with this. Now, the weight Mr. Was it a weight Mr. Sickness? I'm not sure. I don't think anyone knows, to be honest. But that part of it, that's forgivable. He had another fight, he won it. But headbutting Dan Hooker on the weigh-in, I actually think if Dana White came out and said, I can't trust this guy to get there to the fight, look what happened in the fight before, look what happened in this fight where he headbutted a guy, he doesn't deserve the title shot next, I'm moving on, let him fight another one. I actually, of all the insane things Dana White has done over the years, I don't think that's the most insane. I really don't. So I have some sympathy for Arman Saryukin. I think he is the second best fighter in the world at that weight, or maybe third if we add in Islam Makhachev. But the way he has acted, headbutting someone at a weigh-in, I've no problem with someone getting punishment for that. No. Will everyone else who does a similar sort of thing get a punishment? Probably not, and that's probably why Dana White hasn't said it, but that's my thoughts on that. Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes was the other side of UFC 324. A lot of people talking about, should that be the main event? 100%. It should, without a doubt, be the main event. And like some people saying, like, oh, the names and everything, like Pimblett is the biggest name, and Pimblett is a big up-and-coming name. Amanda Nunes is a big name as well. Let's not forget, like, Amanda Nunes has been on some of the biggest pay-per-views of all time. The greatest female fighter to ever live. If you can't promote that fight, as a main event, Jesus, what type of job are you doing at all as a promoter? So I think there's no doubt about it that should be the main event. I love Pimblett versus Gaethje. There's no problem with that being a co-main event for the interim title. Love that fight. No problem with it. So that's a very, very good card. Like the rest of it, Umar Nurmagomedov versus Davidson Figueiredo. I think that'll be pretty one-sided in favor of Umar. Sean O'Malley versus Song Yadong. Good fight as well. I would fancy O'Malley, but I wouldn't rule out Yadong. Waldo Cortez Costa coming back again against Derek Lewis. Arnold Allen versus John Silva. What a fight that is. Love that fight. Rose Namajunas versus Alexa Grasso, former champions. My guy Atiba Gauthier is coming back as well. I absolutely love that guy. And Krylov versus Bukowskis. Fun fight as well. They also announced UFC 325 Volkanovski versus Lopez, and I hate this fight. No, thank you. Why are you making this fight? We already saw it. It was already a dominant win for Volkanovski. I really like Lopez. I said after his last fight, Lopez became one of those guys. Lopez turned into, for me, a Dustin Poirier, a Max Holloway, a Justin Gaethje. You know, someone you always tune in for. And he doesn't deserve this title shot yet. He does not deserve it. Like, you watch that last Leron Murphy performance, the way he won it, the way he performed, and I thought, I'm like, he's going to beat Alexander Volkanovski. You've now given me a contender who I think can beat, in my opinion, the second best fighter of all time. I think, after Mighty Mouse, I think Volkanovski is so superb. He's unbelievable, right? Now, Taporia might be overtaken at Makhachev. There's a big argument over that, right? And you found a guy who can beat him, in my opinion. I might be wrong. I've been wrong many times before. Yet you don't make that fight. And then you make a fight against a guy who he's already beat. Now, I think a lot of this might be, they think Lopez can become a star. Volkanovski might be a little bit older now. He might be on the way down a little bit, and maybe they can get Lopez to become the champion. But I think that's so short-sighted. I think it's so short-sighted. I think Lopez can still grow again and bring people with him and then fight for the title when he's good and ready. Like he said, he's made more fights than Volkanovski, no doubt about it. But he just isn't there after losing a title fight already. Lerone Murphy is the obvious next guy. I know Evloev as well, but I don't know what the story with Evloev is. Evloev is a forgotten man. I wouldn't at all be surprised if Evloev had one fight with more left in his contract or something, fought it and ended up in BFL or somewhere. No, I don't know any of that. He could have 10 fights left in his contract for all I know. But they don't seem to rate him. He doesn't seem to be a UFC guy. It's just a very odd one. So I'm almost leaving him out of it. But I think Lerone Murphy is the obvious next guy. And this is a fight that in 9 months' time, we should make a rematch after Lopez wins another two. We're like, oh my God, can't wait to see that. He's going to beat him this time. That's what we should be thinking when this fight is made. Not, oh no, not again. So there you go. That's my thoughts on the weekend. The news in the world of mixed martial arts. We have another big week coming up. UFC, PFL, Cage Warriors as well this weekend. And we'll have you covered on all of that on Sherdog.com. But until next time, my name is Sean Sheehan for that wonderful website, Sherdog.com. And I'll see you all next time.